Welcome to eBuilder University's on-demand video training. If you'd like to learn more about additional training opportunities, please contact your account manager. Now let's jump into how to invite potential bidders.
Good day, everyone. This is Martin, Certified eBuilder Trainer, and right now what we're going to do is we're going to continue this bidding module video series, and we're going to start talking about inviting bidders and setting up bidders for the purpose of the bid package. Now, previous to this video, we went over the ability to create your bidding details, which are basically the parameters around your bid package, things like what the bid period is going to be, what documents you're going to include in your bid package, etc. Then we actually went over the creation of the bid scope. We talked about the different ways that you can actually create the bid scope, whether it be through manual entry, importing from Excel, applying a template. We also talked about the ability for eBuilder to handle base bids and offer any alternatives. Also, I want to make sure that you guys are aware that the bid scope is something that the bidders do not see. This is basically an estimate that you as the owner are creating around bid items. Very important to understand that, because when you do receive the bids from the bidders, which we will see in a couple videos from here, you will actually be able to compare these numbers to the actual bids that were provided. So in essence, this is an estimate that you are choosing as an owner to create for your bid package. So the next two tabs on the screen that we're going to be reviewing in this video are the tabs here called Potential Bidders and Invited Bidders. Now, the reason we're choosing these tabs and we're working with them is because we did establish that this bid package was going to be a private bid. I told you that the two alternatives that you have is private and public, but in this case, because it is a private bid, we are going to have specific bidders involved in this project. Now, I'm going to make this a very simple example. I'm only going to ask one bidder in this video to bid on my project, but again, the concept will be the same for every other bid package, just depends on what bidders you guys choose for your particular bid packages. So with that, let's first start with potential bidders. Now, this tab right here represents a staging point. This is what I typically identify as what this page does. This page allows me to stage the potential bidders that I'm going to be inviting to my project. Okay, so this is what this is for. Now, most people, when they first approach this, they'll think that whoever I see on this page is someone that I have already invited to the bid. No, that's not the case. This is where you are staging everybody that you are potentially going to bid. Now, the reason I say it this way is because sometimes these are very large-scale projects, and sometimes the list of potential bidders can be long. And so what this page would serve as is a place where multiple people that have permissions to the bidding module can come in and review the potential bidder list and quite possibly approve who's going to be invited to the bid. But again, this is only like a holding area for the potential bidders. That's why this tab is called Potential Bidders. If you look to the right, which we're going to review momentarily, we're going to talk about the Invited Bidders tab. Now, once the person has gotten into this tab right here and they've disappeared from this list, that means they are fully invited to the bid. So two big differences there between the two tabs. However, they do work together. So let's proceed. The Potential Bidders is the staging area. And what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be staging all the potential bidders. Now, when you choose potential bidders, I just want to make something clear that you are choosing them strategically from your contacts module. So it's very important that all the potential bidders are recorded as potential contacts in the contacts module. And at minimum, what you need for each company in the contacts module that's going to participate in the bid is a contact person, and they have to have at least a fax or an email. Now, in this day and age, most people are actually using emails as opposed to fax, but those two are the minimal criteria that you need in order to include that company in a bid, and I'll show you that momentarily. So let's focus on these buttons over here really quick. Some of them we can't really use because they're kind of irrelevant at this point because we have no bidders selected, but we have a print button here. This button will allow us to print the list of bidders if we need to kind of print that out and share it with other people. Mind you, if you have a PDF converter on your computer and you print, you can actually convert that list into a PDF and transmit it out to multiple associates within your organization if necessary. This button here is going to be what I call the action button, which means that once you have staged the bidders, when you click this specific invite button, that means you will execute the invitation. We're going to review that momentarily. This button here is actually one of the coolest buttons on the page because this button is in the event that you have worked with the same companies that you intend on inviting on this new bid package in previous projects, you don't necessarily have to choose them one by one. You can actually click this button here, and what it'll do is it'll present different projects in the system, and it will allow you to choose the bidders within those projects. So as opposed to you typing them out manually, you can actually just choose bidders from previous projects that you would want to participate in this project. Just a quicker way to get more information on the page. Now the add button is the button that we're going to click now, because this is what's going to help us access the contacts module so that we can manually add all the potential bidders for this specific bid package. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add, and this window will pop up. Now I want to make a note, depending on your computer, depending on how things are set up, sometimes if a pop-up blocker is activated on your browser, it will prevent this window from appearing. So if you're following along with me in this video, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that, because you could be experiencing a pop-up blocker issue. And if you are, just look kind of in this area of your browser over here, and you'll see a little red kind of icon. Make sure that you right-click on it and hit always allow. That way you'll avoid getting a pop-up blocker for this very important screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of filter for myself, because I actually made a fake company for myself. I'm going to put in my name here, because that's what this filter can do. And what you'll notice is that it filtered this company here called Ace Air Incorporated. Okay. Now, Ace Air Incorporated falls under the constraints of a mechanical company, and that's the reason this specific client showed up, because this specific company is a company that falls under the Division 15, which, as you recall, when we created our bid package, is part of the CSI structure that we chose for our project. Now, there's something that's appearing here that's very important to understand. This little do not select button. As you notice, do not use is appearing when I hover over this item here. And this is actually something that's configured in the contacts module. I'm going to show you this very shortly. But the cool thing about this is that if in the contacts module, someone who's controlling all the different companies and how they work within the system, if they declare this company as one that you cannot use, notice that by clicking on these boxes, I can't even choose them to be part of this bid. Okay, so that was kind of done on purpose so that you guys, when you see this, you'll know exactly why it's there. So let me kind of minimize my screen here, and we will go to the actual company and make sure you guys are aware of where that setting is, to make sure that you allow either the administrator or whoever controls the contacts in your account and let them know that you need to use this company. For some reason or another, this company was basically banned from being used, right? So if I go into the company profile and I click edit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unclick this do not use symbol right here. Okay, and someone clicked that because they wanted to make sure someone didn't use them as a vendor for one of the projects. And when you do, you're going to update everything associated to it, the address, the phone, the fax. Now, once that's done, and again, this doesn't have to be done for every company, right? This is only in the event that a company was declared as one that I could not use. When I go to click add again, okay, let me just close the window that I had open previously. When I go add the company again, and I search for my name, just like this, now that company becomes available to be selected. You'll notice that the red symbol is gone. So when I click this little checkbox, I am basically letting this person, this system, know that this is the person I intend on inviting to the bid. So when I click insert selected, the person or the company will be staged here on this page and ready to be invited. Okay. Now, one thing I want to make mention, whenever you see drop-down menus like this on top of any kind of a table in eBuilder, I call them perspective menus. It just lets you consume the information a little bit differently. So in this case, I am filtering by bidders, but if I go to construction codes, you'll notice that it actually shows the construction codes that I have available for my project. Okay, so I want to make sure you guys are good and you understand this, but ultimately most people will choose bidders because they physically want to see the people that they're inviting into the bid. Okay? Now, the next step to this, now that I have staged my bidder, I am ready to invite that person. I'm ready to invite that bidder. And when that happens, what I can do is I can just basically click on this person or this company on the left-hand side, and then I will click the button that allows me to execute the invitation. So upon clicking invite, it will take me to another screen that looks very similar to an email. And look at some of the characteristics of this page. It will have, again, the name of the project. If I had a project number on this project, it would be listed here, but this is a training site, so it's not going to have one. And then the subject will automatically default to this value. It'll default to invitation to bid and list the project name. What I typically tell people to do is just change this to whatever you want, because, again, this is like an email. So a subject, typically an email, is kind of like a headline of what you're transmitting. If you wrote an email ever in your lifetime, the subject is typically where you put a headline talking about what the email is about. So in this case, I put mechanical bid package. And then here I'm just going to write description just to keep it short. Once again, a rich text box, which allows me to write a very nice message and format it if I wanted to. And again, some people like to take advantage of this because this is a great way to make sure that you allow people to consume the message in a really nice way. And again, this is me just inviting one person in my example, but sometimes people that are using the bid module can invite a lot of people to the bid. So this is a good way for them to present the bid via email and make sure that the bidders are receiving a nice message when they receive the invitation to bid. Now, when I click send, in essence, what has happened here is that my bidder has now gone from becoming a potential bidder to an invited bidder. Okay, so again, very simple. If someone has gone from this tab to this tab, that means that we've already invited them to the bid package. They can start participating in it, and we've moved them over to an invited status. Now, in the next video that I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you the perspective of the bidder. So you'll understand exactly what the bidder is going to receive when they get this invitation and how it will connect to the eBuilder module within your account, because there's another environment that we're going to be talking about in the next video that will allow you to understand how these two things work with each other. One of the key things that I'm always asked is how can a bidder log into eBuilder if they're not a licensed user? We have an answer for that. So stay tuned for the next video, and that covers the potential bidders to inviter bidder video. Thank you very much for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about additional training opportunities, please contact your account manager.